Hi, this is Tom Brower from the Hydrologic Engineering Center. This is the second video in a series of videos where I'm going to build a basic HEC-HMS model. In the first video, I created a new project and a basin model. In this video, we're going to create precipitation gauges and a meteorologic model. As we go through the process, you should gain familiarity with HEC-HMS project components. Here are the list of steps that we will take. First, I'm going to create precipitation gauges to be used in my meteorologic model. I'm going to start by adding precipitation gauges to my project. To add precipitation gauges, I'm going to go to the Components menu, and then I'm going to select Time Series Data Manager. In the Time Series Data Manager, we can see that it's already defaulted to precipitation gauges among other gauge types. Now I can just select New, and I'm presented with a Create a New Time Series Data dialog, and here I can provide a name. I'm going to name my first precipitation gauge DUJP, and click Create. I'm going to repeat this process for 2 additional gauges. I've now created my precipitation gauges. Next, I'm going to parameterize my gauges. I have a local DSS file that contains my precipitation gauge data. If I have HEC DSS view on my machine, I can open this up and take a look inside. When I look inside, I see records for incremental precipitation. These are going to be the data that I'm going to apply in my time series gauges. So I'm going to close DSS view. In the first video, I mentioned that you should make all of your data internal to your project. So right now I have this observe.dss file in my temp directory. And to be a good modeler or model builder, I'm going to put that internal to my Punks project. And we put this data folder in the project folder hierarchy for this purpose. So I'm going to paste that DSS file in here. So now it's internal to my project. So when I link against it, it'll be an internal file reference. Okay. So previously I added my time series gauges. I can navigate to those in the tree. And here we see the 3 gauges that I added. If I select DUJP, now the component editor opens. And I want to link data from my DSS file. So the data source I'm going to change to HEC DSS single record. And now I'm going to browse to that file. This is the one in the temp directory. I want to make sure it's the one in C projects punks data. Okay, so that's the right file. Now I have to select a path name. And for DUJP, I want the precip incremental. So that's one. Now I'll do the others. Once again, single record DSS. Observe.dss, that's the right one. And this one is MFFP. Finally, PNXP. Okay, I've now linked or parameterized all of my precipitation gauges. Now I'm going to create a new meteorologic model. To create a new meteorologic model, I'm going to go to the Components menu and select Meteorologic Model Manager. In the Meteorologic Model Manager, I'll select New. I'm prompted with the Create a New Meteorologic Model dialog. I'm going to provide a name. I'm going to name the meteorologic model after the event I'm modeling, which is May 1996. I'm going to create the meteorologic model, and now I can close the meteorologic model manager. Now I'm going to select modeling methods in the meteorologic model. I'm going to navigate in the Watershed Explorer to the meteorologic model that I just created. If I select the May 1996 node, it'll open the component editor for that meteorologic model. In the component editor, I can see all of the modeling methods that are selected for each meteorologic process. I can see for precipitation, I have specified hyetograph. It looks like it's already selected among other options. If I were to use shortwave or long wave or evapotranspiration or snowmelt in this meteorologic model, this is where I'd make these selections. Now I'm going to parameterize the meteorologic model. The first step is to tell the meteorologic model which basin I want to work with. So I'm going to go to the Basins tab in the component editor, and for the May 1996 meteorologic model, I'm going to include subbasins for the Mahoning Creek Basin model. Now I'm going to navigate to the specified hyetograph node in the Watershed Explorer, and for each subbasin I can specify a hyetograph or a precipitation gauge. My meteorologic model is now parameterized. In this video, we added new precipitation gauges to our project. We referenced data records from an HEC-DSS file. We created a new meteorologic model and linked our precipitation gauges to the meteorologic model as specified hyetographs. In the next video, we'll create a control specification and a compute.